Well, it's very good to see you here for our Lent group and the reflection which comes before the group. If you're here in the church not for the reflection, do please carry on looking around. My good friend and colleague Madeline Light, who's the vicar over at St Stephen's Church, is giving the reflection today. And Madeline, I'm going to hand over to you without further ado. Thank you so much.
It's afternoon, isn't it? Good afternoon. Nice to see you. And thank you, Edward, for putting all the work into preparing this Lent course. I'm really appreciating it. So, for this second week, in a little while, we'll go downstairs and look at various pieces of scripture and talk about them together. And in the first psalm that we will look at and reflect on, the writer thanks God for bringing him out of a trap. It took the form of a hidden net that might have been used to trap animals. Nets have been around for thousands of years. Pits and nets were means of capturing things. Do you remember Winnie the Pooh, who wanted to catch a heffalump in a pit? In Psalm 66, which you don't have in your booklet, it says something slightly different. It says, "For you, O God, have tested us. You have tried us as silver is tried. You brought us into the net. You laid burdens on our backs. You let people ride over our heads. We went through fire and through water, yet you brought us out to a spacious place." The significance of that psalm for today's study is not that God has allowed someone to be tested by difficult circumstances, but that they are brought out into a spacious place, or a place of rich fulfillment according to the King James Bible, or a place of abundance according to the New International Version. So our focus today is the meaning of sanctuary as a place not just for safety, but for a place of positive flourishing. Although, as Edward has written about the original Dutchman who came to Norwich in 1566, although they came as skilled tradespeople, not escaping hard circumstances, they opened a door for others escaping persecution. Those people may have felt that they had gone through fire and water, and their lives had been threatened before they came to Norwich. In fact, that is very likely to have been the case. There are many families in our city at the moment who have escaped from dangerous situations. it can take a long while for them to feel as if they have come to a place of abundance. Once the initial relief at being released from threat of danger has worn off, there are many hurdles for them to go through: learning language, adapting to the weather and culture. As for the original strangers in Norwich in the 16th century, it actually may be the next generation who fully integrate and thrive most completely. And they too will have to deal with their multiple identities of where do they come from. In the second psalm that we will read in a moment when we gather, Psalm 16, the decision to follow the Lord has consequences. One of these is that boundary lines fall in pleasant places. Again, the idea of a place that is good is associated with God's will for us. Last week, Edward outlined the whole project of salvation from Genesis to Revelation. The purpose is to save humanity from evil and connect us with good. That is God's plan for us to flourish, for him to provide sanctuary for us, a place of flourishing. The original place for humanity to live was, as we are told, a beautiful garden with an orchard and many plants, a pleasant place, the Garden of Eden. In the Gospel reading set for today, in the booklet that we're going to look at, Jesus talks of a kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. That is the reward for those who care for others. A place to flourish, a good place, a place of sanctuary from the battles of the world that we live in at present. It's interesting to note that those who are invited into this kingdom are people who have provided for the hungry, for the thirsty, for the stranger, for the naked, for the sick and imprisoned. So here we come full circle to the means by which we, the servants of the living God, enable strangers to flourish. And that's all I have for you.
Thank you so much, Madeline. And any of us here now for the Lent group meeting, we can head down the stairs to the Octagon room, grab a cup of something hot, and anyone who would prefer level access, do head just out of the church and down the slope, and there's an entrance door outside the Octagon as well. We'll reconvene momentarily downstairs for the Lent group. Thank you, and thank you again, Madeline, so much.